Congrats on downloading ZooWho for the first time. I'm Braden Babbitt, the Media Communications Manager at ZooWho, and I'm going to walk you through how to use ZooWho. One of the first things you're going to have to do when you come to this screen is create an account. You can create it by linking a Google account, a Facebook account, or signing up with your own individual email. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to sign up with an email. I'm going to put in my name, my email, I'm going to confirm that email, and create a password. I can read the ZooWho privacy policy by clicking on this link here. Once I've read it and gotten my own personal questions answered, I can go back to the app, check that I have read it, and sign up. I will be sent an email to verify my email address. Once I've done that, then I can log into the app. In order to log in, I simply put in the same email and the same password that I already created in the sign up phase. These slides simply explain some of the purposes behind the different functions of the app. Remember that any information that you put into the app is your data. We don't sell your data. In order to use the app in the best way, I can import contacts from my phone and add information in ZooWho so that I can better keep track of them. In order to do this, I have to allow ZooWho access to my contacts. Once I have allowed it, it'll pull up a screen where I can import any contacts that I want. Once I have selected them, I simply press the Import button in the top right corner. I will then be taken to the ZooBee screen. I can see all the ZooBees that I have imported from my contacts on this screen. I can also manually add a ZooBee with all my own information without importing my contacts by tapping this button to engage with multiple ZooBees and tapping the button to add a ZooBee. Here I can enter any name I want. For the sake of this example, we'll be talking about John Doe. I can enter the date that we first became friends. Let's say that I met John on Wednesday of last week. I can then enter his gender and click Save to add him to ZooWho. Now I have John Doe's ZooBee profile open on my screen. In order to be a better friend, there are many things that I need to remember about John. I can go down and add all of this information at the bottom of the screen. In order to add his phone number, I simply go to the Edit Contacts button, and I press the plus sign next to the phone. I can add any type of phone, including a mobile phone, a home phone, a work phone, and I can create my own custom label as well. In this instance, I'm going to be adding his mobile phone. I can also add an email, and like with his phone, I can add a custom label or I can label it personal or work. I'm going to add his personal email. Then I click Save to add that contact information to his profile. But there's so much more that I can add. I can add any important dates, like his birthday. I can add an anniversary, a baptism, retirement, a new job, and when he's going to move into a new home, or when he has graduated. I can also create my own custom label by pressing Other. For this example, I'm going to add his birthday. With any date that I add, I can set a reminder that goes along with it. I can set a time when I want ZooWho to start reminding me about this upcoming date. This can be up to 60 days before the date actually happens, or I can just have it remind me the day before. For this one, I want it to remind me a week before his birthday, so I have enough time to buy him a great gift. If I want the reminder to repeat, I can choose every day, every week, or every month. For this date, I just need the one reminder. Then I can select what notification type I want. I can have ZooWho remind me through email or through a push notification. For this instance, I'm going to select a push notification. I can also select both if I want. Once I press save, that date will be associated with John in his ZooWho profile. I can also add a detail about him. Details are great for remembering information such as his job title, or where he works, or where he went to school, such as an alma mater. In an upcoming version of ZooWho, you will be able to organize your contacts and Zoobies into groups called circles in order to manage them together. In order to start doing this before the update, I can simply use the details function. I can add the title of the detail to be a circle, and I can mention that John is a client of mine. I can also add him to any other circles that I need to. Here, I'm also going to add him to the fact that I know him from church. I can also add his social media profiles in order to be constantly updated on his Instagram feed or his Twitter feed, instead of having to search through everyone that shows up on my feed when I use those apps directly. Here, I'm just going to use Google as an example. I can also add his Facebook, I can add his LinkedIn, his YouTube, or any other website that I like. Once I've added his username in this field, I can press save. Once I've done that, his Instagram will begin to show up at the top of his ZooWho profile. Here, I can see all of his different posts as time goes on. The same goes for Twitter. If I add his Twitter profile, I'll be able to see his latest posts. I can also add photos and videos of John in these sections here. If I go into photos, I can add a photo. If I go into videos, I can add a video from my phone. I can also relate him to other Zoobies that are already in my ZooWho account. I can add more information about John at the bottom of his ZooWho profile. I can add fun little snippets of facts that I know about him called factoids using the factoids function. Let's say that his favorite food is pizza. I can record that and never forget it using the factoid function. Then, if I know of any goals that John has in his life, I can add them into the goals, wants, and needs part of his ZooWho profile. Let's say that I learned that he wants to develop his own app. I can record this into the goals, wants, and needs section of his ZooWho profile in order to remember to ask him how that is going. For longer pieces of information, I can use the notes function. Here, I can add things like his LinkedIn bio, or things that he has written about himself, or the last messages that we wrote to each other, by simply copying and pasting it into the note. Then I'll be able to catch myself up on our latest interactions, or things that he said about himself when I'm going to meet with him, or when I'm reaching out to him. Since John isn't real, I'm just going to make up a bio for him. Now that I have all of this information saved, I can easily search in the Zoobies page any of the information that I've added. If I search for church, the fact that John is in my church circle will be able to come up. If I search client, John will appear as he is in my client circle. If I type something unrelated to John, he won't show up. I can also mark John as a VIP. This means that he will show up at the top of my list of Zoobies when I am organizing them by VIP, so that my most important and closest people will show up first. If at any time I need to change anything about John, I can press the edit button in the top right and change any of the information I first input in order to create his profile. Now that I've shown you how to record information about people that you care about into ZooWho, try doing it on your own with the closest 7 people in your life so that you can make sure you're being thoughtful and remembering to be a good friend, family member, or associate.